Hello, today we're gonna create a price structure. So let's start with this example. We have a distributor, it's called Artemisa. It is in Peru and it is for Fruities lollipops. They are 12 single units per box and 20 boxes per master case. Therefore, we also know that the exchange rate is $3 and 3 soles and 34 cents per dollar. So we're gonna put that here. And then for units to box, we know is 12 single units per box. And also, we also know that it's 20 boxes per master case. So we're gonna put 20 boxes per master case. We also are gonna have 3 decimals, which is really important. So just keep your 3 decimals all throughout. Then we are also given the information about the supermarket. So we have a local supermarket in Peru called Wong. And we also have competitor products, which are Dulcino, Lollipops, Toby, and Charmy. And these are the prices in Peru. And these prices do not include sales tax or VAT. So we're gonna put that here, okay, which is really important for us to remember. So that's why we're gonna have to write it down. Then we're gonna have 2 parts to the price structure. We're gonna have the US, the one in US dollars, and the one in the local currency, which is soles. So in order to create the second part, the one that is in soles is gonna be very easy. Once you create the first part, you're just gonna go ahead and multiply that one times the exchange rate. So let's say you have D11, you're gonna say H11 is equal to D11 times 334 or times E5. Okay, so you can see it here. And we are gonna do the same for each cell. So you go to the next one and you just do E5 times E5, and the next one is times E5, and so on. So this part should be very simple for you. Okay, so now let's start working on the left. So we wanna start with the price that is free on board. And we wanna know which one to fill in. So we're also given in our instructions that is $3 per box. So the FOB price. So let's start with that one and let's fill it out. And then the other ones you can just calculate, and you could know that in a box you have 12 units. So go ahead and divide that by 12 and you're gonna get 0.25. So you're gonna do E11 divided by E6. Okay, that would be the formula. For the next one, for master case, you would do 11 times 20, or which is 11 times E7. And that will give you your first row. For the next row, you want to do a discount. Right now you have a 0 discount, but if you had a 2% discount, it will show up. So let's do the right formula. We're gonna do, for D12, we're gonna do C12 times D11. So you can see it here, C12 times D11. And then for the next one, you're gonna do again, C12 times E11. You can see here. And the reason you see a dollar sign in front of C12, in front of C and in front of 12 is because it keeps repeating. And that way you can just make sure that it's not gonna move from there. So let's say you're in the first one and you put the dollar sign in front of the C and in front of the 12, and then you just drag the formula. It's gonna continue to be C12, and then the next one, C12. The one that is gonna change is the one that is the second part of the formula. That is gonna keep changing. Okay, all right. So now you know how to do the second row. For the third row, you're just gonna do the first minus the second one gives you the third row. And what is very important is that you notice that every time you have a row that is in bold, it's because it is like a subtotal. So you gotta look at the previous lines and maybe add them or subtract them. But you don't need to go any further than the line that has the bold numbers. So let's go to the next one. For example, you're gonna go ahead and calculate this row and the next row, and then you're gonna go ahead and for row 16, you're gonna add row 13 plus row 14 plus row 15, and that's gonna give you row 16. But you're not gonna go all the way back to row 11. Why? Because you have a bold number here. So every time you have a bold, it's a time when you have already given a subtotal. So you don't need to go any further. Okay, so let's continue. So now you're gonna do a 2%. So you're gonna do, for example, D13 times C14 times D13. That should give you that one. So that would give you 2% there. And then you're gonna do for 13%, you're gonna do the same. You're gonna do, for example, the C15 times D14. Okay. So let me see again. I'm sorry, I said D14, but it's D13 because we're doing against this one. Okay, so be very careful. Always do the percentage against the number that we really need to get the percentage off. All right. And then you get your subtotal again. And then you continue with your 10% and your other 10%. So what is important right now is that we first start with an FOB. There's a free on board. And then we checked if we wanted to give a discount to our distributor, which in this case we didn't. Then we added the insurance and the freight, and that gave us the price, which is the CIF price, the cost, insurance, and freight price. And then because we may pay duties, then we have the CIF plus duties price. And then we may have other costs that we may have to pay when we get to the new country. And then finally, when we add all these other costs, we're gonna get the landed distributor cost. Okay, so all these different costs are gonna be very important for us. That's why we are going through the structure and we're kind of like going through all the subtotals. Okay, so now we're gonna do, once our distributor gets the product, they're gonna make some money. So we're gonna add the margin. In this case, our distributor is gonna make 15%. Then he's gonna sell it to a wholesaler. They're gonna make 10%. And then the retailer or the store is gonna make 25%. And then finally, the government is gonna ask for 18% VAT tax, okay? The only thing that is very important is that it was very easy to calculate the 10%, 10%, 13, 2%, because those are markups. Just go and you kind of like have a base and you add a percentage on top of that. So markups are gonna be calculated on the cost, but margins are calculated on the selling price or on the, so what we're gonna look at here is that they're making 15% on the final number, not on the cost. And the next one, they're making 10% on the final number that they're selling at, not on the cost they got the product at, and so on. So how do we do this formula? We go ahead and we're gonna say, for example, it's 15%. We're gonna go to the right and we're gonna have here this cell saying equal C21. And then we're gonna have the next cell saying 1 minus this one. and that is going to be 0.85. First, you need to do this setup, and you're going to do it for the next rows too. Once you have this set up, you can go back and do the formula. So here you have to do equal D20 divided by M21 minus D20. So you see that this is going to be D20 divided by M21 by the 0.85 minus the D20 once again. Once you do that, you're going to get the number that we need, which is going to be the 15% margin. Then you add the two and you get your distributor price. And then you're going to continue like that for all the other rows. Just to make sure, let me give you this number so you can also see how it works for the next column. Here you're going to do E20 divided by M21 minus E20. So that's how you'll continue. So that's what you need to do. Just go on and do these formulas and submit your assignment. Thank you.